Before we get started with today's video, I definitely want to take some time to thank my friends over at So Avant-Garde. All right, so Avant-Garde is a place where you can go online, type in the website, and you have a plethora of fragrances from the niche world. Now, niches can be intimidating, so sample, and they have those. Discovery sets as well. Head over there, look around, shop around, and save you some money by using the code DEDRICK20 on anything on So Avant-Garde. And, it's definitely something where, if you're ready to elevate your fragrance collection or get into something new or tap into another level as far as quality goes, hey, So Avant-Garde has you covered. All right, so head over there, use DEDRICK20, save anything, get anything over there except Mind Games. Don't worry. You can head over to mindgames.com and use Dedrick10 for 10% off anything on mindgames.com. All right, so save you some money, explore, see what you discover, and let me know down below in the comments if you rock with anything. All right, appreciate y'all. Let's get started with today's video. YouTube, what's going on? YouTube, what is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, it's your guy, one more time, DEDRICKHJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. Smell good, family. Hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. Positive energy, positive vibes. Y'all know how we rock out here on this channel, man. Positive vibes only. We can do constructive criticism, we can do difference of opinions, but zero, and I mean zero, negativity will live on this channel. All right, so today, Smell Good family, often there's conversation of elevating your fragrances, or depends on who you're talking to. And most times when I have these type of conversations, I'm always looking at the broad spectrum of fragcom. And most people, not even fragcom, outside of fragcom, most people in their everyday life, they just want to smell good. They have one or two fragrances, one fragrance. They just want to smell good. They're not into this hobby like we are. But every so once in a while, some of those people, they kind of break off and become collectors and get to the enthusiast status, so to speak. And they're looking to elevate. They're looking for more. They're looking for other options to get away from the ones that they, hold so close and so dear to their hearts. Those first 2 or 3 or 4 fragrances that you acquire. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Your Aqua di Gios, your Coach for Men's, your Tommy Hilfigers, your Michael Jordan colognes, your Nautica Blue, your Nautica Voyage, your Polo. Those are the fragrances universally that people just hold near and dear, and I'm one of those people. But today we're going to be talking about 8 fragrances to help elevate those who are looking to elevate. Now, some of you watching, your collection may be 9-10 times over the moon more advanced than mine. I understand that, and I'm not here to compete with that or even here to talk about it. I'm really thinking about the people out there who really transitioned into collecting, or transition into wanting to know more, or see if there's things out there with these certain styles of fragrances that I brought to the table today. So these are 8 fragrances that can help elevate your collection if you're looking to do that. All right, so here we go. Up first, and I'm going to explain each one of these as we go, but up first, a fragrance that definitely helped elevate my collection in many ways, from the house of Kajal, we have Lamar. First of all, look at that bottle. One of the prettiest, beautiful bottles in my entire collection. So how did this help elevate? Where am I going with this? Well, this is a date night exclusive for me. Normally when, I was thinking date night, I was thinking, sweet and, dessert-like gourmand fragrances that can kind of trigger, my wife, if we're going out, trigger her in a good way, where, she can be in awe of my scent. But as time passed on, my thought process with that has changed, and this has provided a lot of great memories for myself and my wife when we have gone out. This beautiful rose and pineapple and saffron style of a scent has just elevated a date night fragrance. And who knew, that florals and spices and juicy, fruity tones could do the same thing that gourmands could do at that time. That's what I'm thinking. Obviously now I know better, but this is just one for date night. I wore this all spring and most of summer. Our wedding anniversary is in August. This was a fragrance that I wore. So date night, fellas, if you're looking for something that, if you want to get away from the certain common or popular fragrances in the department store and you're looking for something a little bit different, a little bit outside the lines, maybe those around you have never heard of or never smelled before, this is the one to look into. Definitely helped elevate my date night options for sure. From the house of Kajal, we went with Lamar. Very sexy fragrance, fellas, don't sleep. All right, up next, man, it is summertime here. Well, it's getting there. It's not officially summer, but the weather is heating up for sure. And this is up there for sure when it comes to summer fragrances, and I highly recommend getting your nose on it. Something that can help elevate your summer game. From the house of Zaharoff, we have Coco Loco. One of the more hyped and anticipated fragrances of 2023. We're swinging it back around to 2024, and it still stands the same. Although this gets comparisons to Creed's Virgin Island Water initially, but I'm talking about after the initial smell, it goes into its own thing. Notes of cardamom, there's pear in here, pineapple, different oranges, tangerine, clementine in here. Coconut, that fleshy, legit coconut that's in here. Nothing synthetic or sunscreening about this. This is something that comes off very natural, and it is apparent when it's in the air. Now, at one point this was either you love it or you don't type of fragrance, but now I'm starting to see an overwhelming amount of love for Coco Loco. Not saying that it's not, but my point is, this is something that when I got my nose on it, I was very impressed with the quality. I was very impressed that, this wasn't a summertime fragrance that was status quo. It definitely leaned outside of that. And then I use Virgin Island Water as a reference point here because it's one of the more popular fragrances from a niche level that's really gotten outside of FragCom. And this is one that is just better to me. So summertime, not saying you can't go with Virgin Island Water or many others, but if you're looking for something to step your game up on the quality side and really experience these, like, just smelling this, the fleshy coconut, that tangerine orange, that cardamom warmth with a nice drizzle of a spice to it in here. It's just great, man. Definitely one that's super duper should be in the consideration of elevation for a summertime scent. I think this is one that can get you where you're trying to go to. From the house of Zaharoff, we're talking Coco Loco. All right, up next, man, I thought about this, and there's a lot of people who enjoy the Acqua di Gio DNA, right? A lot of y'all enjoy Acqua di Gio, and every time I smell this, there's a particular version of Acqua di Gio, the Parfum, that's discontinued now, moving into the Parfum. That if there's a conversation, if you could create a niche take of that particular flanker, and which tends to be something that a lot of gentlemen love. Personally, Parfum is my favorite from the line. It has just a dark side to an aquatic, a dark side to it that's just a little bit more attractive in my opinion. And this is one that can match that or even override it. From the house of Mancera, we're talking Black Gold. Now, this is a fragrance that really leans into what a niche take of Acqua di Gio period would be. Aquatic. You get some spices in here as well. There's some citrus tones in here. There's a violet present in here that's not overriding in any way. It doesn't come off petroleum like or gas station like at all. There's many a woodsy tone in here, even a leathery feel, an incensey feel in here as it dries out on the skin. And this is for the gentlemen out there who only rock Acqua di Gio. And I'm using that because it's still the #1 overall seller in all of fragrance, believe it or not. And there's a lot of men out there at some point in time, they are ready to get away from that, but they want to stay in the same vein. Well, Mancera's Black Gold could be one of those fragrances for sure. I mean, at least I think so. So take your Acqua di Gio line, specifically if you smell the Profumo or the Parfum version, this could be an elevated niche take on that. Has a little bit of a masculine touch to it. Quality is increased for sure, and has everything that you're looking for that Acqua di Gio, the line, gives you. It gives you that and some with this one. They don't smell alike, but they're in the same vein, if you're following me here. So I don't know why I thought about the Acqua di Gio line specifically when I was putting this video together, but I know that's just one that's super duper popular. And again, this video might not be for the heavy enthusiasts. This is more for the broader audience who, they're already smelling good, but they're looking to level up. And I think this is a level up fragrance from that DNA. From the house of Mancera, we have Black Gold. Black Gold. This one is fire for sure. Enjoyed it a lot. All right, up next, I was thinking of one for the everyday, the everyday man. Just you want one fragrance just to go with. I recently discovered this fragrance to be, I'm almost ashamed. I'm almost ashamed of the fact that I just really got into this fragrance, but it is stellar good. Great for everyday wear. Just a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And if you enjoy your, your clean, straight to the point fragrances over time, this is one that holds that, but it definitely elevates and gives some different dimensions that it's just flat out attractive. From the house of Creed, we have Creed's Himalaya. Creed's Himalaya. I am just starstruck by this fragrance and in awe. I've had this for about a good probably 3 weeks in my collection. I smelled it on a whim in my local Dillard's, and I had never experienced it before. And when I got my nose on it, I was like, wait a second, like, why have I never smelled this? And immediately, this is something that I would wear every single day. Beautiful sandalwood representation here, some citruses. There's this, I don't know if you've ever been to like the mountains or like the mountains, and there's this crisp, clean smell. The air, smell. The air out there has that crisp, clean, almost mountain-like feel to it. Almost you get this aquatic tone, to that crispness in there. Just like all of nature's elements are just right there and just smelling fantastic. Well, that's what I get from this. That's what I get from this, man. There's a little bit of a salty tone here. Sandalwood, citrus, beautiful, clean musk. Gentleman's classic here for sure with a modern twist. If you look for something for everyday wear, elevate your game a bit, I'm telling you right now, this is one to consider. You can get out and smell this in your local department store and see what I'm talking about. Creed Himalaya is one that will let's say I was just getting in I'm over the hill with just being introduced to fragrances, right? So I'm wearing Dior Homme 2020. I'm wearing, just Culture for Men. I'm wearing those everyday staples, right? And I'm looking for something that's just a little bit more elevated. Here you go. Here you go. Creed Himalaya for the everyday wear, for the everyday man. I think this definitely would qualify for sure, and it can definitely elevate your game. From the house of Creed, once again, we have Creed Himalaya. I love this stuff, man. I know this one, isn't new. It's been out for a while, but it's new to me, and I'm really enjoying it. All right, up next, let's talk to my barbershop fans out there. Barbershop fragrances are really a staple all the time when it comes to, gentlemen-like guys out there who, suit and tie. They're always coming to the forefront, classy. They don't really play around with it. Just that classy gentleman. Most fellas lean towards that barbershop fougere DNA, and this is one for the more modern gentleman. And I just think it hits it right on the head. So if you're trying to get away from that, not get away, but if you wear a Platinum Eagle East or John Varvatos Vintage or, fragrances in that range, and they are great fragrances, don't get me wrong. But this is one that has some different things going on, and I really enjoy it. From the house of Nishane, we have B-612. B-612. Why this one? Why this barbershop fougere fragrance here? There's a cashmere note in here that really, really stands out. You get your green, fresh spicy tones. Excuse me, not green, but fresh spicy tones. You get that tonka bean in here. The cashmere comes off really warm and cozy like. You get that shaven foam type of vibe in here, but it's like a spicy shaven foam, if that makes any sense. And for a classy gentleman, masculine man who wants to keep that professionalism look, and y'all know who I'm talking about, you're not missing no days. You might shave 3-4 times a week. The baldy stays bald. The tape up is taped up. Whatever look you're going for, you're clean and you represent yourself on a high level, because that's what you want to do every single day. But you want something of a different type of feel, modern take. Here you go, man. B612 from Nishane has that cashmere note that helps give this something a little bit extra. Like I said, nothing wrong with Platinum Eagle Wheats, nothing wrong with John Varvatos Vintage, nothing wrong with your classic Fougere barbershop DNAs at all. But if you're looking for something along the same speed, but you want something a little bit different, has a little bit more to offer, looking at this, could definitely elevate your game and your fragrance collection from the house of Nishane. We have B612. I wish I could have got this in 100 ml, but I think they only sell this in the 50, but it'll last me a while, but I wish I could have. All right, up next, I'm gonna go to the gentleman out there, and this is along the same vein. We're just talking masculine only. I'm not talking suit and tie. I'm talking about you on your motorcycle. You are in the construction. You are a man's man. You are a man's man. You don't have time for these other sweet fragrances, fruity fragrances. You don't have time. Well, I think this is the perfect fragrance for you to elevate your game if you're still wearing Old Spice. And I'm not being funny. I know some OGs who still wear Old Spice, who still wear Drakkar. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I have had some conversations for some OGs, some manly men who want to step it up a bit. And this is the only fragrance that I recommend from the house of Terre d'Hermès. We have Terre d'Hermès, the EDT. The original Terre d'Hermès, and yes, look at that dent. I wear this a lot. Vetiver, orange. Just get that in the air. Oh my God, it's so good. That vetiver, that bitter orange, clean, earthy vetiver, smells masculine, smells like you got a great idea what's going on with your day-to-day life. You got a couple dollars, you're riding smooth, you're probably on a big Harley Davidson. You are in absolute control of what you got going on. You're not a jerk at all, but you're a man of confidence. You're a man who prefers to lead. This is what I'm talking about. This has class to it. It has that masculine overdose. So if you're trying to get away from those OG original polos, that can still work. The Old Spice, just those original masculine fragrances, man. Here's one to consider for sure. Still gives you what you're looking for, but it's definitely elevating for sure. And that orange is coming off bitter orange, like that vetiver in here. And those are the two things that I really get coming from this DNA. And it's definitely something that can help elevate your game from the house of Terre d'Hermès. For my OGs, my minds out there, we have Terre d'Hermès EDT. And this has been out for quite some time, but believe it or not, there's a lot of people who just don't know about it. All right, so next up for my suit and tie guys, my guys who are, they are suit and tie all the time. I'm talking about tuxedos to the office. I'm talking about the gentlemen who don't own a pair of tennis shoes. I'm talking to the gentlemen who are of the gentleman elite. They carry themselves their way. They have the briefcase. They have the job in Times Square, the stock exchange. They are trying to get their business off and running off the ground. They are only into luxurious apparel. And I know a lot of times certain Tom Ford fragrances really match that. But for my guys who are in a suit and tie on a daily and just don't have time for anything else, if you love oud wood, if you love those modern, classy, gentleman type fragrances, I think this is the one to look into for sure. From the house of Tom Ford, kind of help elevate your game. Check out Tobacco Oud. Tobacco Oud from Tom Ford. Yes, now this one, for granted, for what it's worth, it's a little bit hard to find. But if you can get your nose on this, you definitely get tobacco, nice woodsy tone. There's a whiskey element here, a touch of sweetness as well that kind of helps amplify this DNA. Definitely comes off as attractive, sophisticated, classy, and definitely somebody who is just quite frankly about making that bread. All right, making them dollars, making moves, putting people in the right position, putting themselves in the right position to succeed, all while wearing that suit and tie. You know, the hard bottom shoes, moving along like a boss. This is a boss-like scent for sure. Tobacco Oud, one that's hard to find, but it definitely checks off everything that somebody's looking for sure to elevate their fragrance game. From the house of Tom Ford, we have Tobacco Oud. I got you guys out there who are suit and tie alumni and suit and tie only. All right, Tobacco Oud, check it out. And last but not least, all my blue fragrance lovers, you're cool on the YSL, you want your Dior Sauvage, you are just into the blues, you're not looking for anything else. You want a traditional blue fragrance, but you're looking for something that kind of helps step it up a notch. Well, look no further than my #1 fragrance in my entire collection. I stand by this. This is #1. And if you ain't smelled this version yet, you're tripping. From the house of Chanel, we got Bleu de Chanel, the Parfum. Bleu de Chanel, the Parfum, has that gold trimming on the Bleu de Chanel and the Parfum label at the bottom. Just beautiful, man. Sandalwood, cashmereans, fruity, a touch of fruitiness to this, sweet, like fruity sweetness, clean. Just somebody's gonna smell you wearing this. They very well might say, hey, what's going on? What are you wearing? This is the ultimate evolution of a blue fragrance, in my opinion. I know a lot of you out there will differ, and that's fine, but this is the one for me for sure, okay? You take your Bleu de Chanel DNA, which is classic, from the EDT, the EDP, you take your YSL Ys, you take your Dior Sauvages, you take your Coach for Men's, you take your many blue fragrances that are out there, and you just want to stick to the blue fragrance lane. You don't want to overcomplicate it. Here you go. Bleu de Chanel, Parfum, everyday wear. This, whatever you want to do, this is it for sure. It is the I ain't gonna say the full evolution of this DNA, because we could have an elixir or some sort coming down the line, but right now I'm gonna say, I guess I am saying that this is it. From the house of Chanel, we have Bleu de Chanel Parfum for all my blue fragrance lovers looking to elevate your game. You don't want to wear YSL, why the original no more. You know, you're looking for something extra, you're looking for something more, you want more, here you go. All right, so I know this video ran kind of long, but we're talking about elevating your fragrance wardrobe with certain situations, and I want to take my time and explain why these fragrances, I feel the way that I feel about these fragrances, and kind of attach them to certain situations or certain people out there watching. So again, this wasn't a video for everyone. All my elevated enthusiasts in your collection, I most likely wasn't talking to you, but I'm talking about the people out there who are into the game, just getting into the fragrance hobby, and they're looking to kind of get away from the ones they love so much. They just really elevate their game, and I think these 8 are great recommendations. All right, so until next time, y'all be cool, be safe, take care of yourselves. Y'all know what it is, positive energy, positive vibes, and as always, splack it up, splack it down, splack that thing all around. And remember, what you put onto this world is exactly what you are going to get back. Appreciate the love. Thank y'all, man, for sure. Splack 'em.